Hey friend, and welcome back. If you're new here, my name is Morgan and you are on my homestead here in Wyoming, where we do a lot of cooking, gardening, and fun adventures all over the state. So today I was starting on getting my kind of sunscreen situation and bug sprays all set and ready for the season. Obviously when things get busy, I don't want to be inside making those. So I figured I might as well bring you along and show you some of my tips and tricks for this. I will be sure to link everything that we're using down below. So if you're interested in it, you can pick some up on your own. But today I'm going to show you a natural sunscreen and a natural bug spray. So without further ado, let's get going. So the sunscreen that we're using, this is probably something that's a little bit different. I actually figured this out. We, growing up, played a lot of lacrosse, and in lacrosse you have to wear the goggles on your face, like the eye masks, and they were plastic. And so when you would wear sunscreen, the plastic would make your face really sweaty and your sunscreen would run off and it would get in your eyes. And so we were all looking for solutions, and finally one of the moms actually brought in this solution and we've all been using it ever since. So what you're gonna need for this, and you can buy this off Amazon already done, it will be like a tinted version. It's definitely a little bit more pricey, but nothing wrong with that. Literally all you need is this, which is a refillable brush, and then it has a pull top so that you can then put the lid back on. So you need this and then some sunscreen powder. So this is the version I use. It's just sunscreen powder, broad spectrum, SPF 30. You can see it here. And literally this couldn't be any easier. So this came with like a baby powder top, so I just popped that off. And then down at the bottom of this actually unscrews. And then to get this off, I just be very careful, but grab a knife and just kind of pop it open. Just like that. So then this is the smallest funnel I have. If you have a smaller funnel, that will probably work better. But all you're going to do is just pour or spoon your sunscreen powder in until it's all the way full. My favorite application of this is to use it on my part. So when I'm outside, I just rub this down my part and it will keep my head from getting sunburned. I really worry about burning my head and my part. So it's super easy in your hair. It won't make your hair oily or anything like that. And now that it's settled and I haven't pounded the bottom so much, you can see it just kind of goes on really nicely. So that's my sunscreen. It's super great. I'll use it all over my face, my neck, and then here, and I don't have to worry about any grease. And then to shut it, you just pull from the bottom and then pop the lid on. You're good to go. This is also great because you can travel with it, take it through TSA. It's not a liquid, so it's just kind of a great little emergency sunscreen. So I will link all of this down below, but I definitely encourage you to check that out. All right, for our insect repellent, we are keeping it super simple as well. So there's about 1.5 million ways you can make insect repellent. So I definitely encourage you to do your own research and kind of figure out what is going to work better for you, especially in your region. I am here in Wyoming. So here for me, what we have to kind of repel against is ticks, specifically when we're like out doing things, if we're out in the mountains or if we're out in more of like the Nebraska area hunting for turkey or anything like that. Ticks tend to be an issue. We also have a lot of flies and then mosquitoes. Our mosquitoes aren't crazy by any means. It's relatively dry here, but this is a pretty wet year, so I do anticipate that mosquitoes are going to be a bigger problem. So there's a ton of different essential oils and they each repel against different things. So for me, I'm gonna be going in with just lavender, citronella, and some eucalyptus. So these are everything that I'm gonna be putting in, but you can do your own research. Lavender is really good against like flies, gnats, ticks. Cedar is also really good for ticks. Citronella, we know, is very good for mosquitoes. And then lemon is also one that's really good for like mosquitoes and that kind of thing. I just don't have any, so I'm not gonna use them. But enough chit-chatting from me. Let's go ahead and get making our repellent. All right, so I'm gonna link everything that I'm using down below, but there's a million different ways you can make this. You can use vodka, apple cider vinegar, oils, just kind of depends on what you want. I'm going to use witch hazel, which is actually a natural ingredient, and it's used a lot for like irritated skin. People will use it on like bug bites, minor burns, that kind of thing, so it works well. So I've got a half a cup of distilled water here, and I'm just going to add in a half a cup of witch hazel. Perfect. And then to that, I'm gonna add in my essential oils. So like I mentioned, I'm using citronella, eucalyptus, and lavender. I will say the lavender keeps everything smelling pretty good, so you can do as many drops as you want. We have about 20 or so drops of lavender. I'm gonna do the same amount of citronella. And then some eucalyptus. All right, so obviously the oils are going to sit on top. That's totally fine, but I'm just mixing this because we have the witch hazel in there and the water. And then these are the bottles that I use. The reason I use small and brown is because, and glass, is because some essential oils will actually react with plastics. So you want to try to keep them in glass and also want to keep them out of the light. So I'm using these, what are these, amber bottles. And then I just got these off Amazon. I will link them below. And I like to use small ones because then you can actually keep them places like your car. I keep one out in the garden, like out in our barn area where our garden is. And that just makes it easy for me to always have them when I need them. So let's go ahead and get these filled up. And this is the little funnel that came with them, but I don't know. That's too big. Okay. This also comes with a dropper, so I think I'm just going to use my dropper and fill this up until I get the levels down just a little bit because I don't trust myself pouring this huge container into these little glasses. All right, and just like that, we have our powdered sunscreen and our natural bug repellent. If you give either of these a try, please let me know your thoughts, especially the sunscreen. I know homemade bug repellent is nothing new, but I never really see people using this, and I've been using it for years and absolutely love it. So if you give it a try, let me know your thoughts. Again, I will link everything down below. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed today's video and maybe learned a few things. Definitely, if you liked today's video, please consider giving it a thumbs up and subscribing if you haven't already so you don't miss any other fun homesteading projects, animals, cooking, gardening, all of the good stuff. I appreciate each and every one of you taking time out of your day to come hang out with me, and I will catch you all in the next one. Thank you so much for being here. Bye, friend.